So many people have problems with the quality and consistency of their flick serve, or they just don't know how to use it to its full advantage. So in this video, we're going to teach you how to do an effective flick serve and how to set up for success after it.
Firstly, you can use a flick serve in singles or doubles, and you should think of it as an attacking shot to make your opponents move backwards and open up space on the court.
Yeah, and everyone will have slightly different techniques, but we're going to go through the flick serve fundamentals that you need to know, starting with your preparation.
Step 1 of the preparation is your grip, and for both the low and flick serve, you should be in a backhand grip. To check you've got this right, when you put your thumb on the widest part of the grip, your strings should be facing upwards. Your hand should also be high up the grip like this, which helps improve your control of the serve as it's a shorter lever.
Step 2 is your racket positioning. Your racket should be roughly in a 45-degree angle like this, not too horizontal and not too vertical. You also need to leave some space between your racket and body to allow for a short backswing. Exactly how much space you leave is down to your personal preference. We've seen some players almost entirely outstretched and some quite tucked in, but again, there are many different techniques that can be used.
Step 3 is the shuttle positioning. You want to hold the shuttle with your thumb and index finger around halfway down the feather like this. You can also hold it with your index finger and middle finger. Again, it's down to personal preference. Just don't hold it by the cork.
The angle you hold the shuttle is also really important. It should be roughly facing this direction. If you hold it with the cork facing the floor, then you'll probably either hit your thumb or you'll have to adjust your racket positioning, which means you'll hit your flick too high and give your opponent way too much time to get behind the shuttle. If you hold it with the cork facing towards you too much, you're likely to either hit it in the net or do a very flat serve. And if you hold the shuttle sideways, then you'll hit the feathers and lose some control.
Okay, moving on, the last step of the preparation is your foot positioning. Similar to the low serve, you can stand with your feet side by side, your racket leg forwards or your non-racket leg forwards. Again, this is personal preference. For example, I stand with my non-racket leg forwards and Greg stands with his racket leg forwards.
It's also really important to start in the same position to where you hit your low serve from. You don't want to suddenly move a lot further forwards to help you get more power, or suddenly move a lot further back so that you can get ready to defend. So you've now got your hand, racket, shuttle and foot positioning right, but how do you actually strike the shuttle to hit an accurate and effective flick serve? Well, let's go through that now.
Firstly, you shouldn't have a big backswing using your whole arm. It's not going to help your power as much as you think, and it will definitely negatively impact both your timing and control.
Yeah, and it'll also show your opponents that you're going to flick. Again, remember, the more you can do to make it look like your short serve, the more effective it will be. And we'll get on to how to make it even more effective in just a minute.
You also shouldn't have a big follow through, as you'll be less ready for the next shot. Instead, you should have a controlled backswing, bending your elbow to no more than 90 degrees and keeping your shoulder quite still, and then squeeze your fingers and thumb to create the power like this. Remember, to get it right, you have to go from loose to tight.
Now, if you find that your flick serve is still inconsistent or just really obvious, then you might need to fix these two common mistakes we often see. The first is people dropping the shuttle and then trying to strike it. But this hugely decreases your control. Instead, you need to hit the shuttle out of your hand.
And the second common mistake we see is when people lean back, making it very obvious they're going to flick. Instead, you need to slightly lean forwards with your body weight, like you would for the low serve. So, putting all of these steps together, the flick serve should look like this. But when should you actually use this serve? And where should you hit it to?
Well, we'd recommend keeping your serve varied and not overusing the flick, unless it's really working. A very rough guideline is to flick around 10% of the time. But of course, this depends on your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. There will be times where you'll be successful flicking 90% of your serves, but other times where your low serve works a lot better and you might only flick, say, once in a whole match. And when you do these flicks, where should you flick it to?
We would generally suggest flicking out wide to the tramline, as it forces your opponent to move further and also gives you more time to react to their shot. You can also flick down the centre line, which we found to be really effective if you're hitting to their backhand side. Whichever option you do choose, if it's a good flick and your opponent is off balance, then your base position should be high up the court ready to counter-attack. And if your opponent is really tall, then hopefully it's pretty obvious that you need to flick it a lot higher to get it over their head, or rather the reach of their racket.
In singles, again, hopefully the flick serve catches them off guard and they're leaning back as they hit it, creating space on the whole court for you to hit into and either win the point or gain the initiative in the rally.
If you want to know exactly what to do after the flick, then we've gone through this in detail for both doubles and mixed doubles, and you can watch these videos here.
And if you are new to the channel, or even one of the 74% of people that watch but haven't subscribed, then please smash that subscribe button. It not only helps the channel, but means that you won't miss out on future videos, like our forehand serve tutorial, which has been highly requested. And hopefully we'll see you back here next Sunday for more badminton insight. And foot position. Racket, shuttle and foot positioning. Positioning.
Am I okay here?
In single.